So I'm in guard. I have Dave in my guard here. We're going to do our basic 5-step armbar, right? So Dave's going to go put his elbow down here. I'm cupping the back of the tricep here, right above the elbow. The other hand's reaching across. I'm not cupping Dave's neck. I'm hitting his chin here so I get his head to bend a little bit. Put my foot in the hip. Come up, I'm looking at his ear. Bring the other leg in front. I'm setting my armbar, right? Everybody's seen this, correct? What did I do wrong, though? No, setting that up. Right? So every time you set this armbar up, when we first learn it, we're always just kind of dragging our hips here. We're nice and flat, our butt's staying on the mat. Every time you move a leg, your hips should come up. Just like with a triangle choke, right? You're trying to get your hips as close to the neck as possible. It's the same idea with the armbar. The deeper my hips are, the tighter the armbar is going to be. The more difficult it is for Dave to escape, the easier it is for me to finish it. So when I make this transition here, instead of just dragging my butt, lift it, okay? But I want to take a big bite out of Dave here. Now I set the second leg, elevate again. Now when I come down and pull my heels towards me and towards my butt, taking a nice tight bite here as I'm squeezing my knees in. It feels a lot tighter, right, Dave? So think about like the way a dog will take a bite. It just doesn't snap. It reaches forward, grabs, and then pulls back. So it's going to take as much meat as possible. That's going to give you a nice tight armbar. So Dave, whenever you guys are drilling, just put the elbow on your partner for now. Elevate those hips. Elevate again. Boom, pull it in. Pinch those knees nice and tight. Now from here, it's going to be really easy to put that pressure on Dave. Okay? So just make sure you guys are doing that. Each leg. If you have to do it super slow, I don't care. Foot in the hip, pinch this knee nice and tight. So as you're swiveling, elevate your hips. And you're pulling this, push it out, pull it back. Elevate again, push it out, pull back. Clamp it in nice and tight. These knees are coming in, so you have a lot of pressure. Last detail here, we don't cross our ankles on this armbar from guard. And the reason being is, even though this feels secure, it opens up space here on Dave's neck. Because this leg can only go as far as this foot. So I don't want to make that space. I want to press into it and bring it back. So you see how those feet are kind of staggered now? That's the nice tight armbar is going to be really efficient. So let's go 3 reps back and forth on that until we move to the next thing. Any questions? All right, so like I was saying, over the next few weeks, we're looking at a lot of different entries for the armbar. But in essence, they're all going to be the same thing. The same mechanics are going on, the same principles at work, and the same general idea for finishing it is going to be in play. We're just starting at different places, but you're going to get the familiar ground really quick. So it's important to kind of understand what makes an armbar, right? When we have an opportunity to do an armbar, we can recognize that scenario in a lot of different places. So it's that three-dimensional concept that I've talked about a few times, and you guys are guinea pigs for a lot of this material because this is a big obsession of mine. So I appreciate your patience as I kind of work through it with you. And so here, with this armbar, I know I have the armbar as soon as Dave's elbow comes inside my hip, okay? I have the armbar here. That elbow's outside of my hip, no armbar. If it's way outside of my hip, it's out over here, I don't have an armbar. As soon as it crosses the plane on my body, I've got the opportunity to armbar him here. Whether it's on my body, whether he's kind of posted up on my chest, yep. Whether it's floating, it's still inside my hip, right? So imagine there's like a box here. It's still inside my hip. I also have to pop forward a little bit, right? So it's the same concept where I want to have that elbow inside. So if I'm looking forward for another position, you gotta stand up for me, Dave. So if we're clinched up here, and Dave's got a grip on my head here. See how his elbow's flared out? Okay? No armbar. As soon as I pinch it in, now I got my armbar. Just imagine standing up is kind of like having a guard. Everything I can do on my back, I can generally do from standing. This is just a different way of looking at guard. Because Dave's still between my legs, right? I still don't have it wrapped around his hips. This is like a very, very open guard. I know that sounds freaky deaky here, but this concept is going to be really important. As soon as that elbow comes inside, I have my flying armbar, right? Which is what we're going to do next. No, I'm kidding. Lay down. So on that same token, when I've got mount here, okay? This position, just hang on. Don't be too excited. So when we're in this position here, this is also like having guard. Okay, we talked about this a few weeks ago. Even though we're flipped upside down here, I got both legs around Dave's waist. His arms are in front of me. I'm facing him. This is like having a guard position, right? So everything that I can do from full guard, I can do from mount, technically. Okay, some stuff's more viable than others. The same concept. I got the same general position. We just rotated here. So when I'm looking to do an armbar on Dave here, that elbow has to come inside. right? So imagine this box, elbow has to come inside. If I'm here and that elbow's out, there's no arm bar here. I gotta get that elbow inside. So we're just gonna go to a basic a high mount first. So we're just gonna assume Dave's elbows are kind of lazy here just to get this concept down. I'm just gonna pop my knees up nice and high. Okay, now I got this elbow isolated. It's inside my hip, it's inside that plane. So we're gonna be here. I want you to reach underneath both arms, cup his tricep, extend your outside leg, curl it around here. Okay, so now we're at our S mount. We're looking this way. Look at that transition one more time. So I'm here. I'm gonna put my hands on the mat just for the sake of this basic drill here. I'm up to a nice high guard, in a nice high mount. I'm pinching my knee. It's like a high guard, right? His elbows nice and isolated. They're all stuck inside. Reach through. Control his tricep. Control both arms here. Extend. Now as I curl this heel in towards Dave's head, this knee is going to rotate this direction so I can turn perpendicular. Okay? So this is my S mount. Now if Dave rolls on top of me, look what this looks like. This is our first step for our arm bar, right? We're just one step away. So I'm here. Nice tight high mount. Control both. Extend this heel and just drag it across the mat. Rotate. You're pinching your knees together nice and tight. A lot of pressure here. Really isolating this elbow, keeping this elbow up against your hip. Now from here, you're just going to isolate this one arm by pulling this hand out. Grab your own hip. Now reset this arm bar. I don't want you to try and go here and swing it over top. Dave's going to escape. You want to keep pressure down on Dave as you're setting that arm bar up. So you're going to lean towards his leg here. Bring your leg over top. Now go down. You can come out and finish this. We'll look at an arm bar break too today. There's another concept here. The same thing from full guard. I'm coming up. Boom. Controlling both arms. Heel out, curl. Boom. So the reason I'm leaning here is how I keep my hips jammed into Dave's arm. So I keep pressure down on him as I'm doing this. The same idea of trying to bite up into it. I'm biting down by leaning towards his leg and swing this leg over top. Pinch your knees together nice and tight. Keep everything nice and flush. Point that thumb to the ceiling. Sorry, Dave. No. Point that thumb to the ceiling. Finish it. You guys see that one more time? One more. So everybody's gonna get hung up. Well, most people get hung up. You guys won't get hung up. You're awesome. Over here, most people get hung up with this heel transfer. You're just gonna lean your weight onto your other leg. Take all the weight off this leg. If your both knees are down, it's really tough. Just lean to one side a little bit. Extend. Keep that heel on the mat. Rotate. So perpendicular again. Isolate into one arm. Lean towards Dave's knee. Pinch it. Lay back nice and slow with your partner. All right, a lot of conceptual stuff. This is important, I promise. Keep getting reps on this because it's an awkward position. Nice high mount, controlling both arms. Boom, boom. Isolating one, coming down. Okay, and I'm here. So there's a couple different schools of thought. Go ahead, just grip your hands together. Yeah, good. So there's a couple different schools of thought here on finishing this arm bar. Go ahead and resist a little bit. Just pull it. There you go. There's a couple different perspectives on how you finish this. A lot of guys like to keep this arm in. They like playing this leg hook game. They like hanging on to this position because it makes it really difficult for Dave to sit up. It makes it difficult for him to hip away. I have a lot of control on this leg if I do it this way. Me personally, I prefer to switch it and play this game. I like having this hand free for a couple different reasons. Because if we're doing this in the street, I can punch Dave in the face. I just like having this top hand free because it's a better tool for me this way. Okay, so let's talk about how I'm setting this position up. So whenever I make this switch here, I first want to make sure this hook's nice and deep. So I'm going to grab my own bicep. I'm going to grab Dave's wrist here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is going to be like almost like a J motion here, like a swoop, a scoop here. I'm going to pull this back towards my chest, lift it up, and push down this wrist. See how it climbs his elbow up a little deeper for me? So his elbow's kind of low. Lean back a little bit, up, scoop it forward here. So I'm always getting bicep slicer pressure on this. Okay, I want to keep this hook nice and deep. It's a little tighter now, right? So grab your hands together again. So now it's a lot tighter for me. It's going to be harder for Dave to scoop this elbow out the back door between my hips. So I got a nice deeper hook here. But I'm kind of just making a nice tight structure here. So it doesn't matter how strong Dave is, I can just use my bones to do this work for me, keeping this pressure down. So now our really basic armbar break here. It's not a friendly one. it's going to use an Americana kind of pressure here. So what I'm going to do with this wrist, I'm going to start pushing this elbow towards me and lean over top of this and climb up nice and high on Dave's wrist. So my forearm is almost past the middle point of Dave's forearm here. Okay, it's not down his elbow joint, it's nice and high. So now in this position here, I'm keeping my knees pinched. Now I'm not going to lay back. I'm going to fall to the side. I'm trying to put my head right next to Dave's head. Okay, I don't want to stretch out as I do this. I'm going to go here. Now I can extend and straighten this out. So one more time here through everything. I'm here, switch my arms through, always keep an arm inside. Scoop it back, lift it up, pop it forward. Nice tight pressure, almost like I'm doing a bicep slicer. This hand on the wrist, I'm going to start crawling my chest forward. I'm trying to stick his elbow in my armpit. Nice and high here. Remember, I'm keeping everything hugged to my chest. Now here I got this grip on his wrist, I can kind of pull with it, but I'm mostly doing my forearm and my body. I'm going to fall right to the side here. So his arm's bent like an Americana now, right? We do that because that's where the arm's weak. So now here I can extend, pop this grip. Pretty uncomfortable, right, Dave?
Yeah, it is.
It's absolutely miserable. So that here's a point that's going to help you keep some friends. So I get this dug nice and deep. When I fall here, when I extend and pop this grip, don't keep extending flat because the shoulder's not made to rotate like that. So as soon as that grip pops, let him roll that arm up a little bit to finish. Okay, just for the sake of your partner. Everybody understand what I mean there? Yeah? You understand what I mean? Because something will kill me if we lose a subscription because I broke somebody's shoulder here. Okay. All right? No, I just want you guys to get hurt. One more time. We're coming through here. I switch my arm. So I got my top hand free. Rear naked choke his arm. Scoop. Pop it forward. Nice and tight. Crawl up. Leaning forward. Getting my head nice and close to his wrist. It's a goofy motion, but it's really, really useful. So now I've got my forearm nice and high on Dave's wrist, making my lever longer, right? Everything's nice and tight, hugging my head to it. Fall straight to the side, then extend my body. Bring it out. Cool? Rather than the top arm through. If you like the other way, you're used to playing that way, that's fine. Like I said, a lot of really good guys prefer doing this. Very talented grapplers, very successful grapplers, so it's not wrong. I'm just showing you guys a different perspective on things. And a lot of guys like to do this too. The reason I like to go here instead of going the legs, I want to kind of focus all my effort on winning this game up here. I'm trying to use my position with my legs to keep my position rather than dedicating one of my tools to just kind of hanging on here and keeping this guy stabilized. If you prefer this way, that's fine. I'm not telling you it's wrong, I'm not telling you to change it. But just for the sake of this class, play around with what I'm doing, so that way you expand your rides a little bit, have some more tools here. So the other grip that a lot of guys were asking about is if the guy does like a figure four, like rear naked grip. So Dave's gonna grab his bicep here. He's gonna catch the inside of my leg here. Okay. So this one, I still want to do my rear naked choke grip on his arm. It's this nice strong figure four, but it's kind of a stalemate, right? This is a really strong grip. Dave's a super strong guy. I can't really get high enough on his wrist to pull this out. This is a really strong position. And worse yet, as soon as I give him a little bit of space, he's gonna start pushing this leg off and bringing me over top, right? So this is bad news. So what I'm gonna do here is, like I said, I have my top hand to work with. My bottom arm, one closest to his legs, hooking his arm. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna go from grabbing this wrist and grabbing this wrist on Dave. Okay, so I just go from the one I'm attacking to the other wrist. Okay, now it's gonna be a quick motion. I'm gonna pop out, pull this wrist towards me, bring it back in. Okay, so now this rear naked choke grip's gone. Now I can work on peeling this out. But in this case, most of the time, since I just have this one wrist, you can kind of start playing this game. You start just peeling these fingers, start breaking this off. But you get out of this grip really quick. Look at that. Let's look at the first part one more time. So I'm here, boom, pop off, get this in, climb it up. I can start peeling this out a lot better now because you can't really hang on to anything, right? It's just his bicep. Rip it out. Kind of got to be a piranha when you're going after this arm. So he's gripping my leg again. So I'm here, I'm just gonna grab his wrist, off, pull, back in, really quick. I can't hang out here because he's gonna pop up on me and take, yeah, that's no good. It's gotta be a quick motion, it's gotta be a surprise motion. Grab, pop, pull, here. Start pulling this back, start digging this in, digging this arm out. Okay? Play that a little bit, guys.